just a circle where real talk flows. 4 different voices, one platform holds. Conversations flowing, stories we share. A space built on love, respect and care. Here in the circle, we listen, we learn. Here in the circle, we speak, we connect. Here in the circle, we unlearn, we learn. Welcome to the Sister Circle. Let's go.
I don't know if I can, but obviously you don't know until you've been offended bad enough, right? But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Um,
for me, I can know. I can.
Really?
Yes, if the situation is
Ah,
toxic, if the situation is toxic like this, I
yeah, yeah,
can.
yeah.
Now, maybe 10 years ago, I wouldn't have had the guts to do it. But now, trust me, I don't need 24 hours to make that kind of decision. I can. Yes, yes,
Damn.
ma'am, I will.
I think I
Anybody.
think with I think when you're older, I think you don't take rubbish and nonsense. But I think
Mm,
for me, I think my mum has grown a lot because, like I said, I think there was trauma from the fact that she wasn't happy in the marriage with my dad. Remember, my dad was doing, everything now. So I was the one at home. I was the one that was closest to my mum. So I was getting it both bad. The gaslighting, and I love my mum, don't get me wrong, but she did a lot of emotional damage to me.
mm,
And we've had to reconcile a lot of that. And I've come to a place where we speak. She's in Cyprus, like I said, we will speak every single day. But we had to go through that where the
mhm.
relationship was totally fractured, totally broken, and we had to build our relationship again. Now, what I did, not everyone can do, but we have a more healthier relationship than we did 15 years ago. So maybe that had to happen.
See, for me, I love to give grace, right? Even my sons, my children, I tell them, I say, I sit them down once in a while. If there's anything I've done, that I maybe overdid it, maybe when you were younger and you feel like maybe I hurt you really bad, maybe you don't remember, but at some point I did something that was really hurtful to you. I'm sorry. I apologize. I've never been a mom before. There's no book for this. So it's especially for my first, right? So now I say this to say, even for our mothers, there are mothers that pretty much just gaslight you in situations. They just want you to just be at their beck and call. They want you to do exactly what they want you to do. Like you don't have a life of your own. Have I had my own fair share of issues like that? Yes. With my mom, yes. But it got to a point where I needed to open my mouth and speak for myself and go crazy when I needed to fix the situation. But thank God,
Mm.
my mom is not like any of these crazy ones or that this one that is wearing lingerie. My mom is here in my house. She works, she stays here with us. But my mom, as for the many years that she's been here, I can count the number of times she's been to my bedroom. If she comes upstairs and needs to see me for anything that is urgent and she can't get me on the phone, she will knock and I will have to answer before she can come in. That's even if she does, because she'd rather send me a message. So that kind of crazy mom, that one right there, of course, that's kind of mother you cut off and never talk to again. The one that held her daughter back from getting married to 10 different guys because she kept cutting her off because she wanted to use as a cash cow. That's the kind of mother that you block because you know that there's nothing you can do. I'm sorry. That woman can never wish you well.
Mm.
Every time that you do good, she would just
Mm.
look at you and have this sense of hate in her. There's no way. So having
Mm.
that kind of energy around you, there's just some people that you just need to cut off. That's just
I
it,
agree. I agree.
right? That's how I feel.
anyway, like I said, you don't sometimes you just don't know until you get there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I can't.
Yeah.
Was there a third bit? Are we doing sis? We forgot that one.
Sis is a lie.
We
Mm-hmm.
did not
Sis is
forget.
a lie.
I'm waiting for everybody. We didn't. Me, I didn't forget.
Okay.
Here we go. Sissy.
Sorry. What did you say?
Sissy, what? You're
See, that's
distracted.
a
What's up?
lie. Thumbs
Um.
up if you agree. Thumbs down if you disagree.
Yes. So we're gonna give you some comments. I think Cool Mama saying she can see your comments now. Good. Welcome back, Cool Mama. So the first one is generational trauma can influence how a Black mother parents her daughter. Do we agree or do we disagree? Thumbs up, thumbs down. What do we think, panelists?
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Thumbs up.
Up, up, up.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, there's a lot of unresolved trauma. But do they even agree that it's trauma? You know that thing. I'm not even going to lie. Let me just say this. Yeah, I think
Take the table.
Nigerians like to suffer. Nigerians like suffering. Like everything. I also realized that even with school and all, especially when I moved to the UK, I realized that we make things hard on purpose. We've spoken about this before. Remember that time we had the issue with WAEC and JAM and all in Nigeria, where I'm just like, we write too many exams. We just too many things. Even the education system is always something with these people, right? So I think that generally the whole culture is built for us to suffer. And that's why you see, even with our government, a lot of the issues that we're having, we almost get comfortable in suffering, where we can be talking about Tinubu today and be angry. Tomorrow now, Regina will start trending, we'll forget Tinubu, as if it's Regina that is your problem. Isn't Tinubu more of an issue? Because we're very into cruise. Look at this thing that's happening now with Tinubu and Trump. Look at how the skits they are doing and the laughing. They're like, is it funny? You know, so I think Nigeria, we enjoy suffering, Nigeria particularly. I can't speak for anybody, any other country. Anyway, sorry, Sissy, I digress.
Okay, and okay, so we agree that yes, that one is a thumbs up. The second one is mothers who constantly compare their daughters to others are helping them do better. Do we agree? Do we not agree? What do we think?
No, I don't agree.
Healthy competition is competition not.
I don't know.
When it's constant, I said constantly. When you constantly do that, because I've seen it happen to friends, it's not good. It doesn't help. Healthy comparison now and then, but not. It says constantly. To me, I don't think it's healthy.
I think it's a balance.
Yeah, it is a balance, but I feel that most, sorry to say, Nigerian mothers, they don't know balance. They will take it to another level, and you end up hating the person that you're being compared with. Personally, they will take it to another level now. Come on.
I don't know, because I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. For me, things I was pushing is because maybe I need to be better than everybody else. All these, the person that came first, do they have two heads? Daddy, you're right. They don't have two heads. So I'm going to show you next time. For me, it's worked though. It depends. For me, it worked. But
see, that worked for my son, though. That one right there. Yes, my last one. Oh my God.
The thing is, it depends. Some children it works. Some children it doesn't.
Yeah,
I was very academic. I was very academic.
Some children, it will actually put them down and it would kill their spirit. Other children,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. For me, I'm in competition, so it works for me. It depends.
I think it depends on the child personally, because
it depends,
for some children, like my youngest, is very competitive. My eldest, don't even bother. Don't even try it. There's no point.
My first and my second, they're always pushing. So I know that they're, at the top of their game. They don't slack. My son would get pissed off just for 2 points. That's how bad it is. But the last one, that one, oh my God, that's the one that I have to kind of sit with, because I know he can do it. So I use those words to kind of push him and see how that boy is changing. Yeah, it works. I mean, I wouldn't say that to the older one because he missed 2 points, because I know myself as a mom that he's already doing his best. So saying something like that would actually totally hurt him.
Yeah,
exactly, because he's already at the top of his game. He just missed it. Yeah, but the one that's lacking, that can do better. You will know your kids.
I think it also depends on the balance. So by the time you finish saying that, when they now do something great, you have to tell them, well done. I knew you could do it.
Exactly.
If you don't keep that balance of saying, well done, I knew you could do it, you see, now
that one
essentially it's going to be a case of, oh, you actually don't like me. And then see the Sister Marius comment of, why is it my dad Dagote? Sister Marius, I tell my dad this every opportunity I get. When my daddy says something, my daddy, why are you not $10? Sometimes I'll come back from work and I'll sigh. My father asked me, how was your day? I was like, well, if you were $10, maybe you will not be asking me how my day was. Him back home, and we will laugh about it. But yeah, I tell him all the time. Anyways,
the third one is healing your relationship with your mother means pretending the past didn't happen.
Oh no.
Hey.
No, that's why that to me, if you want to, my example is that if you want to heal it, you have to talk about the past, resolve it,
Yeah.
apologize to each, do whatever it takes, acknowledge it, take accountability, and move on.
But sometimes your parent will never take accountability. Just in
My
the way
mother had no, my mother had no choice. She had no choice because I spent so much time calling the sister, calling my uncles, calling everybody to mediate, and she didn't want to acknowledge that there was a problem. So I think when she didn't see me for 5 years, I think you have to get to a place where you have to be harsh for her to realize that I'm not going to continue with any relationship until she acknowledges certain things. So we had a family meeting, everyone, extended family, and we resolved it. That was 15 years ago, and we haven't looked back since.
I think that's a good one, but I think a lot of parents, Africans, they will never accept whether if you like, don't talk to them. And then
Fair enough.
It's something that they're never going to accept. So is it more so that you as the child just need to sometimes accept people for how they are and learn to adapt as opposed to trying to force a change on them that will never happen just because they're just stuck in their mind, in their ways? It may be healthier for yourself to change yourself as opposed to trying to change them.
No, I couldn't do it because when it was just me and my mum, I pushed past it. I would let it go. But when it affected my relationship, because some things happened and it basically people were telling me stuff and it affected the relationship. So I was, it wasn't about me. So when it got to the stage where she was doing stuff that was just affecting everybody, including my relationship, and even to the extent of alienating external family, I was like, I'm not having this anymore. If it's just, so I think it was like, I can't keep covering up. I can't keep being the bigger person, letting it go, pretending it was fine. So for me, I just felt that I'm not going to be quiet anymore. And I'm going to be quite candid. I've resolved things with my mum. My sister, who's the youngest, she has issues with my mum and she doesn't speak to my mum. So you see where the problem is. So it was a pattern she did with all of us. I've dealt things and I told my sister, you need to have a conversation with my mum and heal. My sister doesn't see my mum. She doesn't even know my mum is married again. You see where I'm going now? Because she holds so much resentment. So I'm trying to bridge that gap. Well, this is what happens when you as a mother don't want to take accountability. You have a child that doesn't want anything to do with you. So I think be very careful when you're saying that I don't want to take accountability, because all you have is a child that will just cut you out of their life, which is what my sister has done.
Absolutely. Well, I only just became confrontational recently, so I don't know. I'm telling you, I used to be so passive aggressive. So I only just had to say, like, what's the worst that happened? Who's going to beat me? Nobody. So yeah.
Okay.
CC, myth number 4.
One is, if your mother always needs to be right, you should stay quiet and just keep the peace.
You know the funny thing, in this one, I will probably say yes, because I choose my battles now. Sometimes she'll say something even now to annoy me. I just keep quiet. Mommy, it's okay.
Sorry, honey, babe. You know what's crazy is that nobody's keeping to the rule of the game. You're supposed to thumbs up or thumbs down.
Sorry, we're talking. Sorry, guys. No vex.
Oh my god. Anyway, Sister Natu is here. So Sister Natu, I'm going to let you go and then I'm going to read comments afterwards because you've been here for a while.
Do you want to pull up and paste comment? Abby.
Whose comments?
Okay.
Whose comments, Sissy?
Bimpei's one. I think that's a good one.
Yeah, I have start. Okay, let me read comments first for Sister Natu goes and then because I have a couple of stacks. It started already. My therapist asked if I wanted a mommy and me session. I said no. I don't want headache. I am conflict avoidance.
Oh.
Sister Natu said in African context, yes, you have to pretend. And she only says that's why That's why I'm like, it depends, because I do it with my son with things like eating his meals so he can be big like some of his classmates. Yeah, that's not too dangerous, if that makes sense. Some things are dangerous, like maybe marriage or looks as well. You can't be telling your child
Mm-hmm.
they're ugly now. Look at your friends. Your friends are fine.
Mm-hmm.
So no, that one you don't like your child.
Mm-mm.
Sister Mario says comparison is not healthy competition. If we compare them to other parents, me, I compare my dad all the time and my mother. My mother had one friend that was Chief Justice way before her. And I asked her, why are you not Chief Justice already? I even know age mates. Even if she was like 1 year away from me before she passed, but you get my point anyway.
Mm.
Cincinnati says if you do that to a child with low self-esteem, you are destroying that child. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This would
Mm.
never have worked with my brother.
Mhm.
He's too calm and quiet for this sort of thing. It's only me that this could have worked for actually amongst my siblings.
Mm.
Since the Bingpe says, me, I just accept my mom as she is, but let the past stay in the past. But if she does anything that I do not like now, I tell her immediately and she adjusts. Although, no, I am sorry, but she adjusts.
Ah,
Ah,
you will say
Mm.
that sorry, oh. Ah,
you will
you will
say
say
that sorry, oh,
you
right?
will
You will
say
say
that
it.
sorry. If you
Sorry,
want
me.
us if you want us to talk about other things outside of what you did, you will say I'm sorry. I have to get
Me
my
too.
Sometimes,
sorry.
yeah, in the case,
Because when I was
Yeah,
younger,
I'm the same.
I didn't get a lot of sorries that I should have gotten, but now I'm getting my sorry. Uh-uh.
mhm.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm the same, Sister Yinka. You will say that sorry. Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah, my mom said to say sorry while I grew as an adult as well. To be fair, and same with Sister Greenpea, I was able to speak up after a while. Because again, I think I calculated I'm in London. How can you slap me anyway? So
Yeah.
yeah, in Nigeria, yeah. I
Mm.
calculated. What can you do? Will you travel to come and slap me? I beg. Let me say what I want to say, and I can just cut the phone and go to bed. Tomorrow we'll continue again.
I'll be you bad girl.
And so he says, I accept her too, but when she's wrong, I let her know how I feel. My mom is very conscious of the fact that we're her children, but are grown. It took me having to point that out to her. Absolutely. It's nice when they can at least listen. And
Yeah,
And just,
that's
yeah.
when some parents don't listen. No.
yeah.
I don't think Stanatu is here anymore.
I'm
Ah,
here.
no, she
Oh.
must not
I
be.
heard you reading. I'm here.
Ah,
Oh, okay. I was
hey,
waiting
sis.
for you to say ready. Okay, go ahead, sis.
Welcome.
Sorry. Hi, sisters. How are you doing
Hey.
today?
Hi, Sister
Hey,
Oh,
Natu.
Sister
Hope you're good.
Natu. How are you?
Good. Good. This shorter days, it's not in my favor. I don't like how. What time is it now? 5:09. Look, it's dark outside.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of life is this?
Winter.
But
Winter life.
so, this today's topic is so much needed. But I think African parents left the group chat because we have some of them that are three layers coconut head. Let me give you guys one quick story. My mom one day reported my younger brother. So you know how I was saying that these last born they do stuff that you be wondering. That's the same thing we'll be thinking. And then to make it worse, my younger brother is the only boy. So he and my younger sister had a part on a lot of stuff that we used to beat my mom on and little stuff that we get beaten on all the time. So my mom one day was watching my brother. She now said that, ah, imagine your brother. I was talking to him. This boy tied his face. I went to the room and didn't talk to me. The next day he was still carrying face. When I now told my mom that that's her replica, she didn't like it. I said, that's your twin, man. That's your son. That's your training. We didn't train him. So why are you reporting him to us now? And she was quiet. She wasn't ready to accept that but that's the truth. A lot of stuff that we got corrected for, he didn't get that. Do you understand what I'm saying? And now he's rebelling on some things and he's displaying some attitude, even though the boy is doing amazing. But there's some things that he does that he will just be like, Mom, it's you, you know? But like we were saying earlier, it's not all parents that can take it. Some parents can take the correction, some parents cannot. Some parents will chew eyes, they will chew rocks before they will tell you sorry. I
Mm,
grew up with my dad apologizing. That's how we go. My mom takes her forever to apologize. My mom does not ever apologize.
Mm.
She just offer you something. But my dad would be quick to tell you he's sorry. So I grew up with that. Do you understand? So also talking about mothers that are jealous of their daughters. One of my brothers in the US here, my brother by association, dated this girl that was from a single mom. Her mom had her when she was I think 15 or 16. This boy spoiled this girl silly. They dated for 2 years, and in 2 years they've been to like 56 countries. He's the reason why this girl started wearing like brand new clothes, designers, anything he sees, anything good for her, she wants, he swipe his card. Like he's a medical doctor, and then he does real estate. He's making his cash, cool cash. And they plan on getting married. They did the engagement party. We turned Brooklyn upside down that day. Only for the girl's mom to call off the wedding. Do you know what her excuse was? She told her daughter that Nigerian guys that used to marry girls in America have wives in Nigeria.
Mm.
This guy left Nigeria since he was before he turned 15. Oh. Please explain to me. Like he has his affiliation to Nigeria is not even that much. That's how this woman e- ended up this engagement. She didn't agree. She didn't let her daughter marry him. Her daughter wanted to marry someone, and the guy cried after 2 years of marriage.
The girl
Every
doesn't
time
have
I see him,
sense. Sorry.
huh?
I'm sorry, Stanat. I guess I'm just pissed off. I said, did the girl not have sense? Like,
No, because no, but that's how toxic some parents are into their children's life. You see how we're talking like now, we say that sometimes when our parents do wrong, we call them out. I have one of my mom's younger sister,
hmm.
like her kids, she has 3 kids, two of them are married. She's still trying to control their marriage from outside their own house. Do you understand what I'm saying? She's still having that coconut head. Like they don't even have the balls to call her out. They don't even have the balls to correct her. One of her sons was lamenting one time about how she does things, like she's trying to control them, compare them with other people. So if you're trying to compare your kids with people like let's say school wise, I really wouldn't mind, but also you have to understand that people have different level of like their IQs are different. You understand what I'm saying? So you can't just try to destroy your child's self-esteem because you want them to be like other kids. And then especially after they graduate from school and they start working, we're not all on the same path. For some people it might work well, for some people it might not work well. So she is finding it hard to deal with that, especially because we have one of our cousins that is the same age me with her son, and I think his salary in a month is over 5 million naira, and her son is never not even close to half a million, and she's having a big issue with that, and she's trying to like push her son like you can no, but no, they're not the same people. So her kids are lamenting over that, but you're still outside. So imagine somebody is outside, you're sick, you have stroke, just because of how much trouble you make, your children could not take you to their house. They let you stay in your house. And because you have one of your siblings that stay with you, you will not let your children hire a nanny for you because you are helping that your sibling. So the sibling should help you back and return as a payback. Do you understand how toxic some people are?
Mm.
That's the kind of people. So the last one that I wanted to share when you guys are sharing this story is another cousin that I had. Listen, I have plenty toxic family members. But me, I'm not passing it to my children. I can't do rubbish. The mom, see, a lot of our parents, right? Until we start calling some shit out and start cutting some shit out and start detoxing ourselves from some certain kind of like generational trauma, we're going to pass it to our children. So I have this aunt that her life is church. Her money, she can use a 1 year salary and sow seed. So apparently her child went to school abroad, and the dad was like, "Oh, I can't fund the whole thing. The money that I have will not fund for 4 years." She was like, "And let him go. Wherever you stop, I will do the rest." She read that they had an agreement. When the husband's turn was over, it was for her time for her to take over. She said she didn't have money. That's how this guy was deported. And then this woman, every time she'll be among people, that this guy's name will be called, and people will be saying how he went abroad, wasted his parents' money, came back, can he come. Only for us to find out a few months ago that the mom was the reason why he was brought back. But now she's retired. There was a time she took a loan of 500,000 for him to do something, and the thing didn't work out. Now she's tying that rope around his neck, like, oh, I took a loan on your behalf, and now I'm crippled, and now you are married. He's not working, he's just doing little here and there, small kind of like hustle business to raise funds. But now she's going around telling people that the child is not taking care of her, that people should talk to him. I'm
Yeah.
telling you. So one day he got upset. He told her, he said, you know what? The highest you can do is to, and it's not abuse. What's the word? Is to swear, Abby. He said, the highest you can do is to swear for me. So go ahead and do it. That was the level, that was the extent she has pushed him to. He said, you can't gaslight me anymore. I'm not going to fall for your manipulations. I can do whatever I can do. If you're not okay with it, please, whatever you want to do about me, do. And that's her only son. She had only 2 kids. So I think I had this conversation with one of my friends, I think it was 2 weeks ago or so. I said, there are some conversations that African parents are not ready for. Because the day some of their children will sit down and start talking about some things and some shit that they did to them, I don't think the parent will be able to take it, because sometimes some of the dysfunctions, some of us, is a result of the parenting that some of our parents have given to us. Do you understand what I'm saying? Some areas that they failed, that they refuse to take responsibility that they have failed. Some areas that they didn't do it right, or they didn't refuse to restrain themselves and say, "Oh, this one I did it, I didn't do it right, or I should have done it this way." No, whatever they do, they should do. That was when you asked that question and said some of the issues, parent, blah blah blah. Should we just consider it as it didn't happen? For you to live with some parents, you have to just consider like it did not happen, because that how are you going to even start that conversation with them? From where? And some of them don't listen. First of all, they'll say you're disrespecting me. Why? Sometimes the math is not just mathing, honestly speaking. So it's really hard. A lot of parents have done a lot of damage to a lot of us that cannot be fixed. But I don't think African parents are ready for that conversation, which is what Gen Z and Gen A are doing right now, even though they are doing it anyhow, jagala jagala writing, and the parents are not liking it, but some of them call for it. They call for it. And I'm not even mad at them, honestly speaking,
It is well, oh. Thank
even
you
in the world.
Yeah.
Shisinacho. I need to read comments from the other live stream just to get them involved. Oh my god, I would say okay, make
Okay. Uncle Mecca, thank you so much. Oh my God.
Wait,
God bless you, sir. Thank you.
welcome back, Daddy.
I just had to send it on the vertical. I can see. Thank you, Uncle Emeka.
Oh my
Uncle
God.
Emeka, welcome back. We miss
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
I'm
you,
gonna
Uncle.
start shopping for my bikini for Bora Bora.
Ah,
Bora Bora. Oh, thank you.
Uncle Ben, are you
God bless you, sir.
Uncle Ben, are you jealous? Are you jealous?
Uncle Ben, don't stress us. Oh.
Uncle Ben is going to block us off this channel because he's going to be like, what's going on with these segments? What's going on? Anyway, I was going to read a comment from I don't know, Bob69 on the vertical says Nigeria in bad reputation. I'm not sure if he's talking about this or something else. And then another beautiful lady called Lovely Nem 8844 says sometimes last borns get away with stuff because the parents are so tired by the time they are raising child 4, 5, or 6. Absolutely.
lie.
Said that
Very,
earlier.
very true.
And
She's
then
spot on.
Zaddy super chatted us $99.99 $100. Thank you so much, Zaddy. For those that are watching on here, there's another live stream. There's another version of the live stream that is streaming on, so that's why you can't see what I'm talking about right now. And other comments on here says, sorry, Sister Onyi says my mom will just say Mabinu, meaning she's sorry. Sister Chinye says, my mom addresses us as her adult children. Sister Wimpe says, it is crazy, Natsu. By 6 p.m., everywhere is dark like 10 p.m. Oh, God, I hate it right now as well. Sister Marriott says, Yoruba language doesn't even have a direct I'm sorry sentence. That is the clue. Mabinu, don't be angry. Yeah.
Don't be angry.
So don't be angry. If you like, be angry then, right?
If you like, yeah.
Then Sister Wimpe says, I take her adjustments as I'm sorry. In a sense, to be fair, I would rather you adjust than tell me you're sorry and don't adjust. So I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But
You know,
you can also do both as well. Sister Marion says,
Yeah.
laugh aloud. See how she fumbled a pampered life, Abby. Anyway, guess who's on stage with us?
Ooh. Oh, happy in the house. We need to have that applause thing or that, I don't know.
Yeah, we need
The
to.
sounds.
Happy.
It's actually
Happy,
here,
happy,
you know.
happy.
See, this is it.
Welcome.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Thank you very much, Abby. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. Nice to be here.
Hi. Hi.
Papi, what do you have to contribute to our topic so far? Have you been listening?
Yes, I've been listening on and off, but I have one or two things to say. You ladies are doing a wonderful job, and I'm really proud of what you've been discussing so far. You are bringing it 100 as usual. The only
Thank
thing
you.
that I just want to say is that every generation there are children now. For instance, now those that are children now, it happens even to us. When we were growing up, we were always having conflicts with our parents,
Hmm.
not because of anything, but simply because their ways of life seems to be archaic to our own ways of life. So that's why you child and parent will always have that conflict because there's a difference in their understanding, there's a difference in their generation. So they will, because even now, as I'm talking about all this uh, Gen A, Gen Alpha that are now being children now, that they are now having conflict with their parents, Gen X and all. It's not because of anything. It's simply because generational gap and generational ideas and issues are different. When when you Gen Z now, when you begin to have your own children too, will now be like, no, mommy, that's not the way it is. You cannot tell me what to do. It is always like that. There will always be conflict because there's a difference in generational gap and generational ideologies and standard of living. So what you are holding to be of estimable value now, to them it may be, they may not really value it because it is their own time. So it goes on like that. That's why I said something in the comment. I said that be ready to face double portion of what you did to your mom and your children. It's not a curse. It's not something that I'm not laying a curse on you. I'm just saying that it is normal. It will happen. It will happen. Why it is?
Daddy, this is
Absolutely.
what's happening
Uh,
to me. This is what's
yes.
happening. You know the funny thing? My son is dealing with me right now. You see how? So what you're saying makes sense.
Oh, it
He's
is normal.
dealing with me. Uh-huh.
It is normal because that is how it has been for ages and it shall continue like that until eternity. So what I'm trying to say now is that we should be mindful of the values and the morals that we want to instill in them right from the time they were very, very young. So that when they were growing up, of course, they will still resist some of these values, but at least we will be able to get the good ones instilled into their minds and into their brains so that they will grow up with it. So never you now the mistake that some of our generation people make is that they will say, "Oh, I don't want my child to suffer what I suffered," and by so doing, it's a good thing if it's well managed. But if you are not careful, you say you don't want your child to suffer what you suffered as a parent because maybe your mom was mean to you, your mom was cocky, your mom was nasty to you, and you are like, "No, I will be nice to my child." It's good, but there's always the other side of it also. Because now we are having children that are now growing up outrightly stubborn, simply because the mother felt that no, why should I bring him up the way I was brought up? Because my daddy was too strict. He gave us curfew. Don't go outside after 6 o'clock. You must be back home before 7 o'clock. Blah blah. All those things will now be saying no. This is a new generation. Things have changed. I cannot train my children like that. If you don't train them like that, my dear, you are like piling problem for yourself ahead, and God forbid. So all these things matters. We need to strike a balance. You know, Bishop Oyedepo said something. He was preaching sometimes ago. He said that egg is a one-time thing that normally fry in their house
Hmm.
while he was growing up. But nowadays, the children want egg at breakfast on almost on daily basis.
Hmm.
And you now have to stop and say, if any of you want to eat egg, go and lay it by yourself. You don't go to buy egg in this house again. No, there are some things that you will do to show this your children that come. It's not always like that. Not because you cannot afford it to, but you have to let them learn some discipline. Of course, they will not like. I mean, they will not like you for it. They may frown, they may cry, they may shout, they may do whatever. But just like Abitu said that when she was having conflict with her mom, she did not realize it until later on. She now begin to now appreciate the way she was being brought up. Every child will rebel. It's normal because that generational gap is there. That is just what I wanted to contribute. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank you
Uncle.
so much, Uncle
Mm,
Dio.
Uncle
But I have
Dio.
Uncle
something.
Dad, yeah. Uncle Dio is right in some respects. As much as I said that I was resentful to my mum, I'm very hard on my eldest. So the hypocrisy is there. I'm being real.
Mm. Do you know what Uncle Dale said? It's not like it's a curse. I'm not going to lie. I feel like there was times my mom actually cursed me. With this, my children would do it to me. My mom used to exaggerate it so much and say, "Don't worry, the way you are treating me, your children will do it to you." Because I do not wash plates. Because
Hey.
don't wash plates, my children will do it to me. So I think all those small curses of your children will do it to you. Maybe that's why the children are not doing it to the other parents now. But
They are, they do. Because my mom used to say that, see the way you're, even as recently as last week, see the way you're talking to me. Doesn't my grandson do the same to you? I say, hey. So it's happening.
Oh well. What else is there?
What are the lessons? What are the lessons that we can take away? How can you manage these relationships moving forward for your peace of mind, mental health, and managing the relationship and maybe breaking those generational curses? Well, what are some steps that people can do?
I think you can't go back in the past. So I mean, I've obviously resolved my issues, but the hope is that you would learn from what, like, you would learn from, for instance, in my example, I would learn from the parenting of my mum predominantly. Obviously my parents were married, but we're talking about mum, so I'm learning from my mum of what not to do. And like Pappy said, having a happy medium, because I know a lot of people that said, especially those that were brought up in Nigeria. I know a gentleman that said to me, because his parents were very, very harsh, i.e. chastisement. I hope you know what I mean by chastisement. He has overcompensated that. He never ever touched his children, to the extent that he did very, very gentle parenting. And because of that, they're very disrespectful to him. So you don't want to get to a stage that because of your trauma or your childhood, you now go the extreme other way, and then you're not having a healthy balance where, yes, you do things in love, but at the same time, children need to be disciplined. Let's call a spade a spade. Children need to know wrong from right, need to know consequences. But if you now decide, because of your trauma and I've not dealt with it, you now become not a great parent because you've gone to the other extreme. So I think personally, for me, from my mindset, I think personally, take accountability for any trauma that you have and deal with it. Whether that means counseling, get counseling. I know it could be trivial to some people, but I think personally, to be a better parent. I mean, last year I did a parenting class because I told you I was going through a lot with my son and his sins, and I went to parenting class. It really, really helped me. And it's something as simple as realizing that I need help, whether it's therapy or whether having parenting classes, it can actually help. Address what issues you have and try and get the help. And in terms of not continuing the generation, is like I said, get help so that you're not recycling and every generation is having the same issues, and it's like a domino effect. So I think you need to address it, deal with it, work for it, and hopefully for successive generations things will change.
Amazing. Thank you, honey babe. I was wondering if I can do a little Q&A session,
Go for it.
and then we end pretty much. That'll be the last bit. Okay, just give me a sec. I don't know why I asked that question before finishing it up. Okay. Okay, cool. Sorry, before I do that, I need to see if there are any more comments that I can take. Look at Uncle Ben and this our Bora Bora money. Uncle Ben, you are only going to Bora Bora as our photographer. He said, "Oh, okay. No, you know what? Uncle Ben, I just softened my heart." He said, "Abby, you lie. Una go hire a photographer. I'm coming with my baby to enjoy."
That's yeah. I was gonna say we were not
Oh.
gonna hire one, but when I saw baby, I was like, okay, case closed.
Fair enough.
Okay, let it
Yeah.
go. Let's show some grace.
Yes,
We
so
have another
our sisters to
comment
enjoy.
We have another comment from the vertical, the other live stream from lovely name 8844, and it says it's about balance. Train your children and spoil your grandchildren, or spoil your children and train your grandchildren. Okay, thank you for that comment, sis. Sister Chinye says, the other day I told my oldest that I wouldn't curse him and tell him that his children would do that to him. They would do to him all he's doing to me. However, he will see that parenting is not easy. Sister Chinye, you are a Nigerian mom. This is how they do indirect curse. I won't say what is on my mind. I won't say what is on my mind.
I won't curse you. I won't curse you.
Don't worry. I won't tell you indirect. We know.
But your children will do it. They will say, I won't curse you, but then they'll say, but what you're doing to me, your children would, you're saying it anyway.
It's always indirect. He finishes when he becomes a parent. Zeno says, I think taking stock of your behavior and unlearning the toxic traits. I don't know, Sissy and
that's our side conversation.
That's a side conversation.
What's going on?
This one no concern me again. No.
This is side conversations going on here.
Maria says, when is Bora Bora, ladies? Sister Maria, whenever you're ready, we're gonna take you.
Exactly.
Whenever you're ready. And Uncle Ben is saying, thank you, TS ladies. Uncle Ben, we can change our minds.
No, we can't change
our mind. We can
one,
take your baby without
and leave you.
Uncle Ben. Can take your baby and leave you. That says that's not indirect because I'm just restricting myself. Trust me, because I can say a lot. The boy is showing me pepper. I know Stachie, but I feel like moms do that when they is emotional, small emotional blackmail, so you not feel bad. Oh,
yeah.
my mom's
me. I say you can't kill me. I didn't kill my mother, so you can't.
Yes, yes. That's the one I said. I said it to my son yesterday. Look, I told you that I didn't call the police. You remember what happened? And I said to my son, you will not finish me. So I did not finish my mother. My mother is in Cyprus enjoying. He was like looking at me like, what are you talking about? These children, yeah? Well, that's another story. Sorry. I'm still traumatized from what I went through yesterday with my son. It is well.
Amen. Okay, so I have one question particularly for Papi is coming. But this question is, how do Nancy is not here anymore. Okay. How do I heal when my mother refuses to acknowledge the harm? Auntie Inkus, what do you think?
I, for one, I'm always about the opinion about, talking things out. A mother has to acknowledge. I don't know how anyone can get past it. Maybe because of where I'm at in my life right now. If I have unresolved issues with my mom, we're going to talk about it, because for me, if I don't talk about it, I can't talk about anything else. That's where I am in my life right now. I don't know how to move past and sweep things under the carpet and just act like nothing happened. So if it was someone that wasn't related to me or an outsider that didn't really mean much, I'll just go cold turkey. Like, we don't talk, I block you and move on. But when it's a mother, you can't really do that, right? So the only way for me to actually resolve the issue is we're going to talk about it. Like, we need to talk about it. You may not agree with me, but I'm an adult too. So you can respect my point. I'll respect your point of view, and let's leave it at that. But not to talk about it, I don't know how that wouldn't cause more harm. Because I see a lot of us, especially in our community, where you just throw things under the carpet, you don't talk about it, and you have this resentment about your mother, about your sister, and you guys are not talking about it. But then you come out and it looks like everything is good. I don't know how people deal with it, but for me personally, I just can't.
Honey babe, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I'm of the same mind, and I think I'm definitely of the same mind as Sister Yinka, and I think I have the privilege where I know that a lot of people say what I would not do. This is the privilege of me living, being born and living in the UK. There is this kind of education that you should feel free if you have anything in your mind. And as much as my mum is Nigerian, she decided to have me in the UK. So I think for me, I'm very much in the mindset of Sister Yinka. And for me, when I had that conversation after not speaking to her for 5 years, I had to let my mum know how much some of the actions and some of the words that she said hurt me. When I had that conversation, I was crying like a baby. And my mum didn't actually know how much her words and her actions hurt me. So I think for me, her knowing how much she hurt me made her the ego or whatever that was holding her back from apologizing, for her to acknowledge me. And she did say she was sorry. This is a 70-something-year-old woman. She was obviously is almost 15 years, so she was obviously younger. But I'm trying to say, I think that for you to heal, you have to be able to be open about, mummy or whoever it is, this is what I felt when you said these things to me. And you need to articulate how you feel. And I think that's the only way for you to heal. If you don't want to talk about it, whether yourself or the or your mother, you can never move on. And for me, I'm not going to live in bitterness. I want to have a healthy relationship with my mum. And if we have to air out everything, be broken to be healed again, and to have a better relation, so be it. I see so many of our community that will, oh, I wouldn't do that. What you're in a relationship where you are not being truthful about yourselves and what you're feeling. And I want to be open with my one. I want to be happy with my mum. I want to be able to say to my mum, Mum, this is what I'm feeling. And we're definitely in a better place than 15 years ago. So for me to heal, I had to let my mum know how I felt. So it's very important that you vocalize this. This idea that everybody keeps it. I don't know why we do this as Nigerians. As I said, I was not brought up in Nigeria, so I don't have the same training and and that mindset. I'm very open and I'm very transparent, probably too transparent to an effect. And people have told me that, but that is the way that I've been brought up. And I think it's very important to be transparent about how you feel, even with your parents.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well said. Sissy, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, so I think with um dealing with what's the question? How do I deal when mother refuses to acknowledge the harm? I think sometimes for me, I'm big on just accepting people for their shortcomings. Sometimes there are things that we're never going to be able to change. There are things in people that they will never see their shortcomings, they'll never see their wrongdoings, they'll never accept that they've hurt you, they'll never give you that apology. And sometimes the healing really starts from you just acknowledging that you're not going to be able to change that person and accepting it as it is. Because sometimes when we hold on to this idea or this notion of, oh, I need closure, I need the person to apologize to me, I need the person to acknowledge what they've done to me, when you know that that person's personality is never going to give you that closure, then you're just in a never ending cycle that will never be resolved, right? So for me, sometimes the closure you get is just accepting the person as they are, and then that empowers you to be able to move and deal with them accordingly, right? So for example, if you know you're never going to get a certain type of relationship with a parent, you put those boundaries in place. You limit the amount of access that they have to you. You see them on your term, right? In your own terms, not when they want to see you. So then that also helps you with, like creating that emotional distance, because sometimes limiting the person's access to you is healing already, even if they don't accept it. Because once you start to restrict yourself, or maybe if you've got family, you don't have them around, maybe you only see them at family functions, or you see them at things that is maybe necessary to be together as a family, and you're not calling them or making time out of your schedule to go and see them, then they may start to come round. But I feel like sometimes it's important also to um kind of redefine what the healing looks like for yourself. Just decide that, you know what, you're going to just let that thing go and move forward and create a different type of relationship. It's not that
Mm.
you've forgotten what did they say, like you've not forgotten what has happened, but you're just creating a different present for yourself, and you're just living in the moment more so than living in the past. Sometimes it's hard, definitely, but I think for your own peace of mind, I think a lot of the times is that thing, is the saying that they say, forgiveness is not necessarily for the other person. You forgive because really it sets you free from the burden of having that hanging over your head, because most times the person that you're holding that bitterness towards, that you're saying, oh, I'm not going to forgive them, they're living their life. They're not occupying that space that you have occupied in your own head for them, really. So you just need to live your life and do you, and limit the amount of access that they have to have that emotional boundary. And, you know, hopefully that can kind of resolve, or you can build in the relationship with your own terms. I think that's the best thing that I can say, especially when a parent doesn't want to acknowledge what they've done. You're kind of dealing with you're kind of banging your head against a brick wall if you're doing it any other way.
I agree
Yeah,
with you with that. That's very true. Yeah.
Right. Let
yeah, I
me
wanted to. Oh, go ahead.
go. What do you want to say?
Yeah, I wanted to say something real quick. I wanted to just give us something that happened to me when I was about to have my third child. Was when my mom came to the U.S. for the first time since after she gave birth to me. So she got here, and all these years that my mom and I were not together, and the way that I grew up with her, now I felt that she was very difficult with me, that she was extremely strict with me. When I knew that she was going to come to help me with my child, I felt like it was important that we had this conversation, because I still held on to, I mean, I've not been home with my mom since I was 17, but I remembered everything that I had to go through leading up to 17. And I felt like I needed to talk to my mom about that, just for us, the both of us, to be in the same, because I knew we're going to be in the same space, and for me to actually be able to heal and kind of let some of the hurt that I didn't even know that I had in me go, so that we can really, try to have that mother-daughter relationship now that I'm an adult. And this was, my son is 15 now, so this was 15 years ago. So when my mom got here, I think about 2 days later, we went out to lunch, and I actually talked to her about, the things that I felt, the way that I felt when I was a child, even up until the point that I felt like maybe she wasn't even my mom. How, when I came to Nigeria to visit, how she was so different with my siblings in comparison to the way that she raised me, and how I've just, I've been carrying that in me all of these years. So we talked about it, and surprisingly enough, of course, my mom, I didn't think she was going to say that she was sorry, but I just felt like I needed to just, talk it out with her and just let her know how I was feeling. But she kind of, took accountability, explained some things to me, including how she was raised, right? And me being her first, and also apologizing for where she, felt like she did too much, because at the time she didn't know any better either. She was in her 20s when she had me as well. So she was just learning as we go, just like I was. So that was where we were able to kind of, I was able to get my own healing from there. And we were able to really start that mother-daughter relationship now that I'm an adult, understanding what happened in the past. I say this to say, if there's anybody out there, you're having issues with your mom, you've never really sat down to talk about it, I would suggest that you actually find the time to also do it. Reason because
Mm.
sometimes you think they know, but really they don't know. So until you sit down and have that heart to heart conversation with them, they you're just going to be carrying the resentment. Now, if you talk about it and nothing has changed and everything remains the same, then you go to step two, which is you need to put boundaries in place, start doing what you need to do. Even when you have a relationship, you still have to put boundaries in place as an adult child, right? So, but if it means that you can't get anything resolved, I just felt for me it was very important for me to be able to be free with my mom, to so that she can take care of me and take care of the baby, so that we're both in a good space. I felt like I really needed to talk about that. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up.
Right, perfect.
Can I say,
I'm
sorry,
going
can I say that that's the similar situation, because I think everyone seems to assume that, and I agree with Cece that you put boundaries. I did put boundaries. I kept away from her. I was very, very kind of like to myself. And like Sister Yinka said, it was a case where she came to me and she wanted to resolve the issue. So I'm like, fine. And I told her everything. I'm very much of the opinion I'm very good at push, taking myself out of situations. People complain all the time, you don't call back, you keep to yourself. I'm very good at doing that. So I think it was a case where my mum knew I've already kept my, I set boundaries. She saw she was seeing us in certain places, but I kept to myself, and she hardly saw me for the 5 years. And then she reached out, wanted to resolve it, wanted to include my aunt, her sister, and that's how we resolved it. But I'm very much of an opinion that you're going to get people that are toxic, and it's just for you to decide to set boundaries, whether it's your mum or anybody, or you just cut them out of your life. It's very simple.
Thank you, honey babe. Uncle Dayo, I feel like you're muted.
Yes, I want to say something.
Okay, sir, go
The
ahead.
thing is this. Thank you very much. The thing is that when it comes to forgiveness and healing, let me talk about healing first. Healing has two ways. I'm going to give an example of a normal wound. Let's say you got your leg wounded somehow. It can heal in two ways. It can heal internally or from external applications. But the best way to heal is to apply both. And why do I say that? You heal faster if you apply both internal healing and external healing. For instance, now you have a wound on your leg, maybe an open wound, and you're applying medications to it, and then you're also taking medications that can heal it. So if both of them jam, the wound will heal faster. Same also when it comes to forgiveness. Forgiveness, forgiveness has two sides, like a coin. You have head and tail. The first side of forgiveness is you forgiving yourself. The second side is you forgiving the person that has hurt you. If you don't apply those two sides, you can never have peace. But what people do most of the time is that when somebody hurts you, somebody did something bad to you, you are still feeling the hurt. Yes, you must have forgiven that person, but because you needed time to heal, you want to stay away from that person. It's good. But some people may want to blackmail you with it. Maybe you say you've forgiven me. Why are you not playing with me? Why? Because they believe that since you said, okay, I've forgiven you, things should continue as normal. No, you are still hurting. So you need to take time to heal first. You need to give yourself that space. If not, you will never be able to get out of that situation. So you have to understand that. But if you really want to heal, if your mom or your dad or anybody does something to you, you must understand something as a child. I taught myself this thing while I was a child. I realized that even as a child, I seem to know some things that my parent does not know. It's not because they are not educated, but because of my own exposure, because of my own generation at that time, I think I knew some things that they don't know. And based on my own knowledge of what I know that they don't know, I cannot front it in their faces. It will become an insult. So I will just take it in, resting myself in the fact that they don't know what I know. So that's why they're behaving to me like this, or that's why they're doing this, or that's why they're behaving like this. So I've already internalized the problem, and I've already given them a soft land in my heart. So when it's time for me to now forgive them for what they did, it becomes easier. I'll just be, oh, they don't know any better. Maybe they will have done something better than this. That's the way that I was able to heal. Then when they now come later on, because most of the time, when your child tells you something, watch this thing as parents. When your child tells you something and you don't believe it, and you're like, no, it's not so, it's not so. I know I'm your father, I'm your mother. You cannot tell me this. If that thing that the child now told you became truth, as a mother or as a father, how will you feel? That is where we have to be careful. We have experienced it before in the past. Maybe when we are growing, when we're still young, that there may be a time that we brought an opinion and our mother shouted us down. No, bro, or maybe our father said, no, that one cannot work. And that our opinion finally became the solution. How did they feel? So you must always have that at the back of your mind also, as a parent now or as an aspiring parent. Don't shut down your child all the time. Always deal with them with wisdom. That's number one. Number two, to heal after your mom or your dad has hurt you, you must learn to forgive them ahead. Forgive them ahead, though, no matter what they do to you. After forgiving yourself, forgive them also, so that whether they say sorry or no. But as you said, if you are waiting for them to come and tell you sorry, if you are waiting for them to have closure, it's like you're just deliberately deciding to leave your wound open. And that process of healing will take longer than usual. But I rather prefer that you forgive them already and move on your mind. Don't expect them to come and say sorry. If they come and say sorry, fine. If they don't, fine. But I like what Sister Yinka also said. There are some things that you have to say not because you want them to say sorry, but for them to know so that both of you can have harmony in your relationship. So if you know there are a type of people that can listen to you, or you know you can express yourself in such a way that they will get your point and they will not get angry, because most times some parents when you come out like that, they may take it the other way again.
Oh,
But if that type of parents that you know you can talk to and that they will listen, sit them down, like what Oni Babe and Shitayenka did, talk with them. Then they will realize, oh, I'm sorry, and you move on. But basically, we too should learn from our parents' mistakes when they were training us, and we should not make the same mistake with our children. So we should learn to strike a balance. Thank you.
thank you so much, Uncle Dai. I'm going to take comments on this question real quick, and we're going to move on to the next question very quickly. Zeno says acknowledgement is great, but if you hold on waiting, you keep getting hurt by any trigger. My mom will never acknowledge, but I have realized I realized I hurt more waiting for that. I have forgiven and moved on. Sometimes you just have to forgive for yourself. Like I think it was Sissy that mentioned. Sister Chinye says, Uncle Dayo, not at all. However, I can see, sorry, it was Uncle Dayo that asked the question, can you see yourself in the boy? And Sister Chinye replied, not at all. However, I can see some things about myself in my daughter. That one they show me Pepper in her own way. And so he says bitterness sometimes and definitely resentment, absolutely. Zeno also says I just have to be guided in our relationship. Wounds hurt more when you keep opening the same scars. I choose to let my wounds heal and not allow new ones with boundaries. Amazing. African parents don't even want to see a therapist because that is disclosing family secrets to strangers. Very true. Some moms aren't mentally capable of doing that. So what do? Keep hurting. You get a choice. And Shinku says spot on. We can CC spot on. We can resolve it or we space out. You see me when you see me. Situationship. Samaria said distance does affect our relationships. Our need to migrate for better lives has widespread ramifications on families. Very, very true. Sisters, I just saw a comment, right? And I think Sissy, no, Honey Babe,
Mm.
sorry, Honey Babe. I don't know. Let me see if I can find it. I tried to screenshot it.
Welcome.
Somebody posted this on the other live stream.
Yeah, I'm just about to answer it. Is
Remove.
that lady? Yeah, I'm
So
literally gonna.
somebody,
Yeah,
1 second. So let me read it so everybody
sure.
can hear. She's okay. She says, "Hi, a friend's Nigerian 17-year-old daughter ran away from home. UK police is aware. Any advice? Heartbroken parent. She's done this before. If phone is seized, she's watching on replay. Advice, please. Be kind."
Hmm.
Mm.
Do you want me to reply?
Yeah, you and Auntie Yankus can reply. Don't really know.
It's a difficult situation. There is something obviously going on because you wouldn't a normal child. I still call her a child at 17. People may say I shouldn't, but a 17-year-old wouldn't be running away from home. So there's obviously something going on. I think for me, even if there's issues, the parents need to know that she's safe. So I think if she's watching this replay, please, if possible, contact the police to contact your parents that you are safe. I think that's the best thing for her to do. And if necessary, I don't know whether the police or someone can intervene to obviously maybe there's something that could be resolved, a meeting or whatever, to obviously see if they can unite her with her parents. But if there are issues, I'm being very careful what I'm saying, then maybe there has to be some kind of third party to try and see if things can be worked out. But I think the most important thing is that just from what I went through yesterday, where I didn't even know where my son was for a certain period of time, it's very important that the parents know that she is safe, even if she doesn't want to come home at this time. That's all I wanted to say. Sister Yinka, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, so tough one. I'm sorry that they're going through this. I would like to say first, since the UK police they're already aware, the parents should just maintain regular contact and make sure that they share any new information with the police, especially her online activity. Now they need to check her digital footprint. If she's 17, she's likely online somewhere. Track maybe
Yeah.
Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, WhatsApp, find friends maybe from school, talk to them. Even if her phone was seized, she might use another device or a friend's account to log into her account. So, yeah, take that social media one very seriously. Then contact the schools, maybe youth centers nearby, or even churches. She may be there. Sometimes, teens confide in mentors and other people. Of course, if they're not confiding in their parents, they're definitely confiding in someone. So someone might have heard from her. So just try to think about places where you think that she kind of, may have maybe leaned towards liking to be. So look at that. Wow, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Then
I think
I hope that you find her soon. And when you do, please, I beg you, lead with love, not punishments. No, not punishments. You
Okay.
said because, especially, I say this because you say she's Nigerian. I know how our Nigerian parents can be. If you find her, when you find her, because I know you will, by God's grace, you will find her. Lead
Amen.
with love, not punishment. She already expects anger and control. She already is expecting it. So give her something she's not expecting, which is the love. So showing empathy,
I think
my
mm,
yeah, showing empathy
I
might
think
bring.
there's
Go ahead.
sorry, I'll let you. I was just gonna say there's something going on, and as much as I agree with you. I think that if she can see this, I think she needs to let them know she's safe. And I'm gonna be honest, it may not be a case where she needs to come home straight away. I think the most important thing is that the parents know that she is safe. I
The
Yeah.
think
17
there's
year,
something
the
going on
17
because
year old daughter, honey babe, 17-year-old daughter is not the one that's going to watch this. Is the mother.
It's the mother that's
The
watching, the
mother is
the
parents.
going
mother,
to
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah,
advise.
Yeah.
sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
I think that, well, yeah, if that's the case, I just think that everything that you said makes sense. I thought the daughter was watching this, and that's why I
Yeah.
was saying, please find a way to let your parents know you're safe. But in terms of the parent, I just think that with everything that City Inca says, lead with love. The natural reaction is to chastise. There's a reason, there's something going on. And I think you need to try when you see your daughter to try and find out what is going on and try and see if you can settle that, because if not, she'll do it again. I think there's something going on, and I think you need to try and figure out what that is when you see your daughter, because on a normal day, 17-year-olds shouldn't be running away. So I think, as much as I understand what you're going through, I think that hopefully this won't repeat itself. But I do feel for you, only because for a brief period of time, I didn't know where my son was and I nearly called the police. This was just yesterday. So I feel for you as a parent. And I really hope that, if necessary, everything that City Yinka says, social media, the problem is without the phone, what do you do, Sister Yinka? Because the phone is where everything is, her friends, her TikTok, her everything. So what do you do, Sister Yinka? So I'll let you finish.
Yeah, so yeah, like I was saying, she's a Nigerian. Her parents are Nigerian. She knows as a child, as a Nigerian child, that her parents are going to scream, and you know how we do. But please, if you're listening to this, well, you're listening to this. Lead with love, not punishment. This is not the time. Because when you do this, you're not going to be able to get to the bigger issue of why she keeps leaving. I'm saying this
Exactly.
because I know that I'm hoping that you find her soon. And when you do, these are the steps that you need to take. If you lead with love and not chastise her, you'll be able to get down to the to figure out what is really going on and why she's leaving. And then please seek professional help. A youth counselor, please, not a church pastor. I'm not saying you're a
I
church
bet.
pastor, please. I'm begging you. Seek a professional help. A youth counselor, someone, a family therapist, but please not a Nigerian pastor or a pastor at all. seek professional help and let her speak to someone. And
Yeah.
finally, please, I know
Yeah.
that you have friends, please don't shame her publicly. That can push her even further away. I'm saying this because I know how Nigerian parents can be, and that's why I keep saying Nigerian parents. Don't shame her publicly. Stay calm and continue to be prayerful. Fear and guilt can make parents lash out, which I totally understand, but please focus. Now is, you need to focus on how to figure out what's going on. And I hope that you do have a support system that's helping you through this. And I pray that you find your daughter, that she comes home. But that social media, oh, by the way, check her email. Do you have an email address? If there's any way you can get into her email or send her an
Yeah.
email, send an email to her email address. Send an email. She's probably checking, maybe sending email out to other friends from
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Send an email to her and just let her know that you love her and that you're worried about her and that you just want to know that she's safe and she's okay. Please do that. I'm hoping that she will pick up and reply you back. Wish you
Thank you
well.
very much,
Yes, well,
Auntie Nkos. I'm
yeah.
going to so these are the rest of the message. You said 2 weeks away.
Ah,
The mom is in the UK and dad is in Nigeria.
oh God.
Thank you, all mom is
Mm,
all your advice is on board. So Uncle Ben, obviously this is a serious issue, and I'm sure a lot of
Yeah,
us are
it
familiar.
is. It
please.
is.
Hmm.
Sorry,
It is.
I believe a lot of us are familiar with Sister Tonya on here. She's quite a regular here. So I think it's only right
Mhm.
that we give her some time on this issue. So since Uncle Ben
No problem. Not a problem.
so
No
since
problem. This
Uncle
is
Ben,
important.
yeah, since Uncle Ben and Uncle Dio are here, they're also dads. It would be nice to
Yes,
hear
sure.
from them. So Uncle Ben, are you here, or Uncle Dio? Should Uncle Dio go first? Uncle Ben, I don't know if you're available.
Anyway,
Uncle,
if Uncle Ben is not available,
okay, Uncle Dio, go ahead,
I would
please.
like to I would like to just Sister Tonia is a familiar face with us here on Real Farm, and she's a family. So we are having a family meeting now. Our problem is our problem also. So what we're going to do is simple. Sister Tonia, I'm going to tell you direct, okay? This the sisters have told you the roadmap. I just want to shed more light on some of the things that they said and make it clearer. There is a reason why she kept running away from the home. If there are too many hostilities in the home, she will keep running away. So you need to address that, which Sister Nika has said. But the angle that I want to come in, I want to ask I want you don't necessarily have to answer it, but I just want to give you some kind of rhetorical questions. Did she left home because of misunderstanding between her and the parents, or did she leave home because of her own personal decision?
Can you hear
Maybe
me?
she want to go.
Yes, we
Yes,
can hear
Uncle
you.
Ben, we
Are you
can hear
here?
you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you. So did she leave home because of her own personal decision? Maybe she went out with a boyfriend or with a friend, or maybe she just wanted to be free. So if you can answer those questions sincerely, then you will know the roadmap. That's number one. Number two, try to get across to her by any means you can. They have given you one. If you know her social media handles, send her a DM or send her an email. Let her know that you are missing her, that you really want her, that you just want to know that she's safe. Every child have that soft spot. If they know that their parent cares, no matter their bitterness, no matter their hunger, they always want you to know that, okay, I'm safe. Then you can relax from there. But the most important thing is that you must get to the genesis of the issue why she kept leaving home so that you can solve it. If it's something that both of you can sit down and discuss, fine. If it's something that you have to give in for her to feel safe. As parents, what you want is the best for your child. And I can bet you, if a child wants to make her own mistake, you cannot stop her, but you can always guide her. So where parents normally get it wrong is that when a child is bent on making a mistake, and you as a parent, you know that this girl is going to make a mistake, you will not want it to happen. You want to force her not to make that mistake. But I like something about we guys. I like what Uncle Ben have said. I think there was a situation like this, and Uncle Ben was like, "Oh, if I do something and you do it, by the time the consequences come, I will laugh you." That's my own position too. As parents, we must learn to tell them this thing, don't do it. But women sometimes, I mean the mothers, they want to go out all the way, say lie, not on my watch, you will not do this thing. If you want to commit that mistake and she's not listening to you, let her commit the mistake. By the time the consequences come, she will face it. So please, in this matter, try to find out exactly why she's leaving and take it from there. Thank you.
Thank you, Uncle Dayo. Uncle Ben, can you please offer
Thank you, Uncle
your
Tayo. I like what you said. Thank
Uncle Ben? Oh,
you. B, are you there?
let me read comments. Apologies, TSC fam, jumping up. Thanks for the so far interaction. See you on next show. Well, Sissy. Sissy is not feeling very well at the moment, so she's had to leave.
Pele, pele.
Cece also says, why are the parents seizing her phone? What is happening? Is she misusing
Sorry,
it? Is she doing something inappropriate? etc. Zeno
Abby,
says,
when you're doing the comments, can you do the last comment from Sister Tonya because there's more information? Thank you.
I've done it already.
No, on the other one, there's the vertical one. She's just mentioned more stuff
Okay, no
that gives
problem.
us that gives context.
Cece, Uncle Dio says, parents seize phones to reprimand and discipline the child in most cases. It's a punishment for a bad behavior. Zeno says, Cece, they haven't been informed that it doesn't work anymore. Please thumbs up
It
if you
doesn't work.
have not. I don't know. I thought I had Gen Z perspective, but some reason I don't. I don't know what's going on today.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. We'll be waiting for you, Uncle Ben. £50 fine.
Mm.
For keeping us waiting.
Sissy, while he's talking, can you? Sorry, while he's talking, Sister Tonya set
I
on
will,
the screen
sis.
as well.
Yeah, because it takes
Thank
a
you,
while
ma.
for me to screenshot and get it on there.
Okay, no worries. Sorry, no worries.
Uncle Ben, please go ahead. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
want to do the other questions before. So
First off, I wanna really say,
you're right.
I'm so sorry, Sister Tonia, that you are going through this. And again, thank you for sharing this with us. Okay, thanks for sharing this with us. So basically, what I can advise is this. Um, okay,
So, Uncle Ben, let me read this quickly. She left after a heated misunderstanding with her mom, centered around seized phone. Mom wants the best for her to focus on her studies. She's 17 years old, just for everybody to remember. Okay, Uncle Ben, sorry.
all right. Sorry, I'm actually having two voices in my head because of the two platforms that are running simultaneously. So first, Sister Tonia, thank you very much for sharing with us. Um, as a father myself with a 17 years old, what I can advise is this. First of all, by grace of God, she's gonna come back home. You see that two things. Either she probably have a boyfriend who is maybe older and have his own place that she probably ran ran to go and connect with, or or she might just run away from home for the sake of it. So what I would say, when she comes back, you have to understand that she's an adult now. Yeah, even though she's 17, she's an adult, and you have to approach their matters with more of love than being tough, because I'm dealing with the same issue myself. The only thing is that my daughter is not the type that may run away, but maybe I can say, these ladies, uh, these children, they have a mind of their own. But I do know that sometimes my daughter and I will get into it. They are stubborn, they believe they are grown now. So when it comes to punishment, how I do the punishment with this phone and electronic device thing is that I'll just tell them, even my 13 years old, even my 10 years old, I'll just tell them, bring all your devices, laptop, iPad, phone, everything, bring it and put it on the table. So that's what I do. They will put it on the table. They can see it. Everybody can see it. I'm not hiding it or anything. And I think the fact that they can see the phone, but they can't grab it, it sends a message to them that, hey, you messed up. That's why you're serving this punishment. And sometimes, even when I have to go do something outside the house, or maybe I have something else going on, I will just leave the device right there. Sometimes I will see them. When they peep left, right, they couldn't see anybody. They will run there, open their phone real quick. I don't know whether they are texting or chatting. Then they will keep the phone back and pretend nothing happened. So I deliberately do that because I'm beginning to notice how these children can literally lose their mind when you take their devices away. And I do understand why they feel like that, because they they don't have the kind of childhood that we had in Nigeria, whereby you can go play with your friends outside, you can go do anything. It's like all they have is they wake up, go to school, mix up with their friends at school, they come back home. You see what I'm saying? So most of the time, their phone, laptop, or iPad, that is how they were able to relate with their friends and catch up with whatever is happening. So once you take their phone away, oh, some of them can really, really lose their mind. So I'm just suggesting that when she come back, if she did anything that you feel like, okay, let me take her phone away or something, just let them keep it where they can see it. That is one. But more importantly, at 17, I think by this time, you guys should be having more conversation than discipline. You guys should be the mom and the girl, they should be talking more, you know. So you just have to, I know it's painful, parenting could be hard, you're working, you take care of them, especially in a situation like this where the father is in Nigeria and the mom is the one in UK. You can be frustrated too. But these children, they are different now. So I will only say, please choose soft parenting at times. Do more of talking. Let them express themselves. This is why I always kind of like preach consequentialist parenting. Mine, I won't shout. I won't even fight. When I shout, I'm really frustrated. But most times, I'll just give you consequences. You do this, this happen, I will pretend I don't see you. And whenever such happen, I will zone out. Even sometimes my wife will say, you are too wicked, you are a father, you don't. I'll say, no, you can't beat them, you can't do nothing. There has to be a way you let them know that there are consequences for their behavior. So I did it with my kids, especially when they become teenagers, and that set them straight. It set them straight up. If they get in trouble at school, if it is something I've warned them for before and they disobey, I won't even get involved. So you just have to come up with so many parenting style that will not make them see you like you are their sworn enemy. Because at that age, from teenager all the way to like 20, is like the parents is their number one enemy. They believe they can do all things by themselves, you know? So that's all I can advise. Thank you, TSS, for having me.
Please, can I just say something to add context? Because people are saying don't take her phone away, blah blah blah. So just in case anybody can add more to this, she's misusing the phone, losing focus, failed her exams. Parents wants to guide her. Emphasis on failed her exams, right? She also continued and said, I think Honey Babe asked her, is she going to be retaking her GCSEs or whatever? And then her reply said, I don't think she's retaking GCSE for now. She can't read or focus or lost focus and zeal. For context, for those not in the UK, in Nigeria, GCSE would be WAEC. And then I'm guessing in America, it would be something like maybe SATs and something along those lines. But yeah,
Okay, okay. I see what is happening. Basically, there is no much the parent can do if it has to do with academics. I think what she needed is motivation. Um, they may have to look into the type of friends she's keeping and basically just talk to them mostly, tell them the consequences of if you don't do this, see what's going to happen. You don't have to make it a fighting or create a scene. It's really very simple. At least it works for me most of the time, though I know that parent may have their style. Because once they get to certain age, they need motivation, they need encouragement, and they need some enlightenment. You just have to let her know that now that you're 17, you have maybe 1 year or two more to live in this house. And your friends that you think they are the best thing in your life right now that makes you losing focus 2, 3 years from now, many of them will be in college or universities, and you will be home. And as soon as they get into college or universities, they will leave you behind. So it's just a matter of talking to them anyway. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Does any of TSC sister
And
must
i-
add
and
context?
and if I may add, Abby,
Go
if I may
ahead.
add, Abby, I want to say something to. I want to add one or two things to what Uncle Beno just said now.
Okay, sir. Uncle Dayo. Uncle Dayo, we can't hear you anymore, just in case you can hear me.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Now, what I was saying is that I want to add one or two things to what Uncle Beno just said. Now that we know the reason why they are having this issue, it is not really an easy matter because when it comes to exams and a child not wanting to be serious, I think it's deeper than just something that we can take on a facial level. And and I will say this: the best thing that the parent can do now is what Uncle Beno just said. You have to engage with the child in form of encouragement, get to know the reason why she's not doing so well. It may not necessarily be because of the phone. The phone is a distraction, quite all right. But is she really interested in that particular class or in that particular schooling? Because all these things boils down to mentality and outlook to life. This is where she needs a parent to understand her, to encourage her, to talk to her, to make her see reason why she must take this exam seriously. I once had similar issue with one of my child while she was around that age. And what I did was that I sat her down and I said, look, see all these people that you are watching on TV. I mentioned some names. This newscaster, this journalist, this person, that person, this actor, this actress that is married to the governor and all. I said, all those people that I mentioned, it is because they had a basic education that they were able to go higher in life. Don't short track yourself by settling for the minimum. Get educated. Whatever you want to do in life, get education first. It will go a long way to help you. Once you are educated, the class of people you'll be moving with will be quite different. And I was able, by the grace of God, to convince her, and she changed for the better. Now she's an accountant, a graduate accountant. Now, why do we need to do that as parents? Sometimes we need to come to their level. It's not all about forcing. It's not all about you must listen to me. You must do what I ask you to do. Yes, there's something called tough love. As much as you love that child, you must be willing also as a parent to understand that they need to be. Sometimes they just want parents to listen to them. I'm sorry if it is thunder. We're having rainfall here now. So they need the parents to listen to them, hear what they are passing through, feel feel their pain. But if you're not listening and you're not ready to listen, they will tend to be stubborn. But in this case now, I pray that she comes back home, and I think counseling and talking will do a lot of good for her than any other thing else. Thank you.
Can I say something, please? I think Chinia said it. As you know, I have a child that has ADHD and autism. I'm not saying she's on the spectrum, but I know in the UK schools, from when I was in school, normally the school should have picked up certain things, even with the fact that they normally would have things like parents' evening to see if they're on track, especially if there are, I don't know, is it year 11 or whatever for GCSEs. So I'm just surprised that the school hasn't picked up that she's struggling in school, because that's the whole point of the teachers should be able to understand that she's not on track in terms of her GCSEs. And has there been any conversations and the mum going to school to have conversations with the teachers in regards to her academics? Now, in terms of the spectrum, one of the symptoms is losing focus, but there's also other things. So I think we shouldn't just jump to conclusions that she's on the spectrum or she has SENS needs. Sometimes there could be things going on. There could be bullying. There could be other things going along which can affect other people's academics. So I think we shouldn't just jump to that conclusions. But I think for the mum, the most important thing is to make sure that she's safe, and obviously having the, do what Uncle Ben said and have conversations. And then lastly, it should would be, I personally think, having a conversation with the school, or if she's in college, if she's retaking, and finding out, maybe having a conversation, why, what is she struggling? Is the work hard? Can she not focus? So these are obviously, there's a lot of work for the mum to do, and I think it's going to be challenging, but I hope you've got a support network. But I think the most important thing is that she should be safe, focus on that, find out why she left, therapy or whatever, have that conversation. But on top of that, the academics can come later. The most important thing is that she is safe. Thank you.
Thank you, honey babe. Sister Tonya just gave us a super chat of £5. So thank you very much for that, sis. And she's also saying thank you and appreciative of everybody's points and said that they'll be taken on board. So thank you so much, sis, for this. Really appreciate the super chat. I'm just going to, we're at the end of the show now. We were at the end, the last segment of question and answers before the comments came in. So I'm just going to, please, for this particular question, is it possible that only Auntie Yinkus answers this? And then for the last question, I would like our two dads in the house to answer this, and then Sister Seko will round off and we'll let it go. So the question is, how do I set boundaries without feeling guilty? Auntie Yinkus, can you please shed light on this question?
Okay, how do I set boundaries without feeling guilty?
Yes, please.
You may feel guilty. Let's just say it the way it is, but you're just going to have to do what you have to do. Now, boundaries differ, right? Because we've talked about different things, different scenarios that have happened, and how you can move on from it. If you have a parent, let's say, if you have a parent that you just can't get across, and nothing you can do is right in their eyes, and you've tried everything, and you know that it's causing you heartbreak and you can't deal with it, you just have to do when I see you when I see you. You call once in a while. If you need to set a reminder on your phone, maybe once a month or twice a month, you give them a call, say how you doing, and move on. Don't entertain any extra talk. So it's kind of, I would say it just depends on the situation. But even good relationships still need boundaries. Every relationship actually needs boundaries. The boundaries just differ from relationship to relationship. And are you going to feel guilty about it if you're not used to setting boundaries from the get go? Yes, you will feel guilty about it, but you're going to have to just get over it and do what you have to do for your own well being. At the end of the day, it's all about your mental health, how it's going to help you. So if that means putting that guilt aside to do what you have to do, then you just have to. I don't know how you wouldn't feel some sort of guilt when you were setting boundaries, but with time, you'll feel better.
Thank you so much, Auntie Yinkus. Um, Sister Natsu.
Yes, I had to come back when I heard that. It is heartbreaking also as a parent because you're gonna start feeling like you're failing. But I don't want to also I don't want to also want you to feel like a failure because Bradayo said something earlier. He said sometimes if these children want to make their mistake, you can't stop them from making the mistake. You have to let them make their own mistake. And Allah is to talk about something called rock bottom. And the reason why I'm sharing is because I'm 43 years old. I have been distracted by my phone at work several times. At my previous job, it affected my job so bad. I lost that job. and I got a new job now. Nobody tells me what to do. The moment I log in, I turn off my phone. And the reason why you see I'm able to join TSC on time is because I started work on time because I wanted to finish on time to join TSC. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my husband has talked about that phone thing. No, till he has stopped talking. But it's me that reached rock bottom by myself. And I pray, I say, God, I need you to help me. Holy Spirit say you have to be turning off your phone. So once I log in, if you are looking for me, you can't find me. So my siblings know that if there's any emergency, they'll call my husband. I'm turning off my phone and focusing at work because guess what? I'm not about to lose this one again. Do you understand? So I think sometimes you just have to let them make their own mistake. But as parents, sometimes we're being overprotective, be like, oh no, I can't allow her to make that mistake. But unfortunately, sis, you have to let her make a mistake. Unfortunately. If she wants to get a job, allow her to go get a job because she can't write exams now. No problem. Go and look for a job. Once they fire you from one, two jobs because you're always on your phone, that's when your eyes will open. That's number one eye opener. Do you understand? So I know I've not experienced that yet, but I'm just telling you that at my age, I was becoming so glued to my phone that it was bad. It was bad in capital letters. Like I'm working small, I touch my phone. I work small, small anxiety, I touch my phone. Now if I touch my phone and it's off, I don't turn it on, I just leave it and continue my work. And I can't believe that sometimes I work for 4 hours without turning my phone on. So I started from when I take my 15 minutes break, I turn it off till I don't even turn it off my 15 minutes break self now. So I think like you just have to let her make her own mistakes. Like that part of that guilt, you have to like stop beating yourself up. And because that guilt, if you keep saying that, oh, but that's my child, then you'll be feeling guilty. But if you
Yeah.
decide to say, you know what, I'm not gonna let you be, go. It's like a fire. You know what was small? They will say if you a child, don't tell them not to touch the fire. If they touch it, they burn the one time, they won't go back again. Abby. So it's the same thing. So why can't we allow our children to do the same? Do you understand?
Absolutely.
I know we have plenty fears like, oh, I don't want her to go and do this, or she's not going to get pregnant, this, that, that, that. Maybe she's busy doing TikTok, doing video calls with boys, showing without clothes, talking without clothes, walking around the phone naked. You know, all these kids, what they do stupid stuff. I'm telling you, they do stupid stuff until they get themselves in trouble. They're not going to understand it. But at this age, I don't even think that using the phone now is even the solution for that one. I doubt it because they're gonna be feeling like, oh, I'm grown, I'm grown, I'm grown, I'm grown. So I feel like the best bet is gentle parenting, like Uncle Ben has said. Just take the back seat. But guess what? Again, sis, we're gonna be praying for you. Trust me, because
Okay.
this is not an easy ride, but we'll keep you in our prayers. You got this.
Thank you so much, Sis Natsu. I think it's important for me to just say for anybody that missed it that this person is Sister Tonia's friend's daughter. Is not Sister Tonia. However, the lady herself will be listening in, so I can
And
appreciate everybody.
she's
I can,
also she's her
I can
friend.
appreciate,
The
yeah, I can
girl, Sister
appreciate.
Tonya is feeling the same heat too. You
Yeah,
understand what I'm saying?
I just wanted to clarify for those that missed it because obviously
Gotcha.
it's important that we clarify. But obviously, since the woman is going to be listening in herself, and I can appreciate us personalizing it since she'll be listening
Okay.
in
Okay.
later.
So yeah, whoever it is says you got this, we're gonna be praying for you, you know. You're gonna come through this. Stay strong. It's not gonna be easy, it'll be tough, but it will be worth it at the end.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
just leave her with her phone for now. Let her do what she wants to do.
Okay. So we have what do you call this thing again? A poll that was done earlier. Are black mothers too hard on the daughters? 57% said yes, 13% said no, and 30% said tough love. I kind of thought yes would be higher, but I guess fair enough. Thank you for that. Our very last question, and then we round up the show. And this question is mainly for the men that are here. And the question is, what role can fathers, partners, or community play in supporting the healing? So I'm going to give the floor to Uncle Ben and Uncle Dayo, and then the rest of us TSC can just round up and just round up the show all together. So Uncle Dayo, can you please go first, sir? What role can fathers, partners, or community play in supporting this healing?
Thank you very much, Abby. The the father has a major role to play. In fact, the whole community has role to play. But unfortunately, in an Africa setting, there is an adage in my language that says that um, four eyes gave birth to the child, but all eyes take care of the child. What it literally means is that a father and a mother gave birth to the child, but in training a child, the whole community trains the child. In an African setting like this, if a child is misbehaving and there's an elder around that place, the elder will correct that child. Don't do like this. And the child will take correction. So everybody join together to train a child. However, in the modern day living, particularly people in diaspora and even back home here, the system has changed. Now we are now in an age whereby if you should rebuke somebody else's child, the parent may come for you. Why are you talking to my child like that? Why do you have to correct my child? Why do you So people have stopped now. If an elder is passing and seeing a child doing something wrong, if he or she wants to correct that child and remember the repercussion that the parent may come for him or her, he or she will just move on. That's why we're now having badly brought up children in the home. Because let me tell you this, when a child is going to get bad, children don't do bad things in the presence of their parents. They do it away from their parents. But if it were the communities of those days, anywhere that child is, and there's an elder there, if he or she does anything bad, those elders will correct that child. And they may even go to the extent of beating him or her and taking him or her home to show the parent that, see, this is what your child is doing, and the parent will thank them for it. So before a child can go wrong in a community like that, it's very, very difficult. Now back to the question. The father has a major role to see. I've said this before on our previous streams. I said there is a level to which a single mother can take care of a child. By the time they enter their teenage years, they need they need a male figure of presence in their life, either their father or a male figure that to be a good model for that child. If it's not there, the tendency for the mother to be able to handle it alone is very, very weak. Because why? At that teenage years, that's when they're discovering themselves, particularly if it's a male child. I can see what my sister is facing now, Sister Shinye, with her boy. It is because at that age, the boy is just getting to know himself. And there's an ego in every child. A boy knows that he's not supposed to be controlled by a girl. I'm sorry. That's why most mothers have difficulties male with their male child. It's an inborn thing. They have that stubbornness. But the good part of it is that an average boy is always protective of the mother, protective of the sister. It's an inborn thing. God has created boys to be like that. So when your boy is growing up at that age, what what he needs is a father figure that can point him to the right thing, because that's when he's almost affirming. That's when he's now getting to realize himself. That's when all the chemicals in his body are telling him that he's a man. But if it's not being channeled by a man or by a father figure that can let him point those energies, point those hormones in the right direction, that's when they normally become stubborn, they normally become uncontrollable. But if there's a man in the house, or if there's a father figure in his life, they can be able to monitor him and guide him, and he will come out fine. Because in those formative years of a child, even a girl child too, the same thing applies. But in those formative years of the child, if there's no male figure there, it's always difficult, or I'm not saying it's not possible, but it's always difficult for a single mother to bring them up in the right way. Because most of the time, it's just like they are not just controllable. I haven't said that If there's no male figure around, if there's no father around, it takes prayers also. Even with the father around, it takes prayers also. I, for one, even before I, even before I got married, I've been praying ahead for my children. I've been telling God, this type of children that I want to have. I'm praying for them even before I got married. I've been praying for all my children that, Father, this kind of children that I want to have, they grow up like this, they be like this. And God is a faithful God. He answered my prayers. So you can, your your prayer will not stop until they are fully married and settled down and they are doing well. And then you now start praying for your grandchildren also. So all these things, as parents, we hold them prayers and we hold them discipline with knowledge and wisdom so that they will not grow wayward. Everything is out there to lead them in the wrong path. Every tendency is there for them to go the wrong way. But because of your prayers and because of your constant watching over them, they will not go the other way. They will turn out the way you want them to turn out. Because that's my own key. That's my own security. That's what I normally tell my children. "See, before you can go to the other side, you must pass through my prayer. You must pass through my prayer first. Because I know that that I'm praying for them even before they were born. And till now, I still mention them in prayer every day. So as a parent, as a father, the presence of a father is quite necessary in a child's life. And the father also has to be present. If he's not present, prayer by the parents always goes a long way to work. And the community, unfortunately, I cannot say much of the community of nowadays, but in those days, community is the blind, I mean, is the unseen eye watching the child when the parents are not even when they're not even around. If your child should misbehave in your absence, somebody in your street, somebody in your community will be the one that come and see, I caught your boy entering one house there. And the boy that lives in that house, they are not good boys. They'll come and tell you. And when they see the boy, they say, what, what are you doing in that house? Oh, yeah, Alele. They'll pursue the boy. They don't need to know, they don't need to know your father, they don't need to know you, but that is how our community is in Africa. We come together to train our child. But now, civilization and so many things have changed that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Uncle Dayo. We really appreciate you coming to join TSC today. Thank you, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you for having me. It's a
Thank you,
pleasure.
Uncle
Thank you.
Dayo. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Really nice, sir.
Thank you, Uncle Zaya. Thank you so much. Much appreciated.
Uncle Ben.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, the question is, what role can fathers, partners, or community play in supporting this healing? So that is supporting the healing in a mother-daughter, toxic relationship. What role can fathers, partners, or community play in this?
Oh, okay, okay. I understand it now. Thank you very much. I know our time has far gone. All I would say is that as a father, you have to support both the wife and the daughter. And by support, I mean you have to, first of all, diagnose the relationship between the mother and daughter so you can at least ascertain the nature of the relationship. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. So now, if you figure out that both mother and daughter are not getting along, it's not even very hard to know these days. You, at least if the daughter is a teenager or maybe young adult, by that age, she and her mom supposed to be doing a lot of things together. They are supposed to be chit-chatting, playing, doing fashion and many things together. So if you notice they were not kind of cordial, maybe whenever the mom is around, the daughter like to stay in her room. Or maybe the mother is always complaining. Mother do that a lot anyway. They're always complaining about the daughter. Hey, she's not doing this, she's not doing that. So all the father can do is that first off, you talk to the wife. You have to talk to your wife. You have to make sure at least if your daughter is not close to the mom, she should be close to you, the father. If you are a great dad, she should be close to you. So the daughter will definitely tell you more about what's going on. Maybe this is what mommy is doing that I don't like, or dad, can you please talk to mom about this or about that? So now you become the middleman between both of them. And in order to support them, you just have to sit your wife down and talk to her calmly. Let her understand that, say, "Hey, this girl is growing up now. She's no longer that child or that baby of yesterday. And remember, if she's 14, depending on her age. So you can tell your wife, hey, this that she's doing, if it is not something really bad, let your wife know that it's not really that bad. Sometimes it's because of peer pressure. It's because she's beginning to see the world now and she just wants to fit in. So if you and your wife have a great conversation, and if you're a great dad, though, if you're a great dad to your wife will definitely open up to you. She will tell you what she doesn't like that the daughter is doing. And then first you talk to your wife, because you and your wife must be on the same age. So if you can get your wife to understand that, hey, this is your daughter. You don't want a situation whereby as soon as your daughter leave this house, she doesn't even want you around her. So you got to fix whatever is going on between both of you now. If your wife agrees that, okay, yes, but talk to your daughter. Now, fine, your wife is on board. You can now talk to your daughter, dude. You let your daughter know that, hey, your mom loves you. She bet you. Everything she's doing is just for you. The fact is, she wants you to be great. She wants you to be successful. That is why it seems like maybe she's tough on you. You are a beautiful girl. You are an angel. Your mom loves you so much. You just have to understand where she's coming from. So, in a nutshell, the man can actually bring about the healing by appealing to both wife and daughter. And now you also have to make sure as a man you can find opportunity to always get them both together. You can take them out, you can go to dinner, you can go on a play date, you can do so many things. You always make sure your daughter and your wife are around, so that way you are facilitating a kind of closure and rapport between them. But talk to your wife. I think the key is with your wife. If your wife change her approach, your daughter will look at you like, oh, daddy, thank you. Mommy has changed. And now she too should begin to change. That's all I can say for now. Thank you, everybody, for having me.
All right. Thank you so much, Uncle
Listen.
Ben. See you
Thank you,
later.
Uncle Ben.
Have a
Thank you,
good.
Uncle Ben.
Okay, sisters. So what are your closing words for today? Your last, yeah, closing remarks for today's show.
Um, I think for me, I think it's been a very interesting show, and I really liked a lot of the examples and situations that we talked about. I think for me, the key reflections are that we need to be very aware and understand the patterns and identify in in your own relationships, if you have a mother and daughter relationships, just understand the patterns, have empathy, because there's situations where your mothers may maybe can't help it because of the socialization and the way they were brought up, especially if they were brought up in Nigeria, and have empathy. At the same time, I understand, and I think I take on board the fact that for some people, they're never going to get closure. Like I was able to have closure and I was able to have that conversation with my mother. For some people, they're not able to do that because of the type of mother they have. Where, I mean, a lot of people have said that for where would any mother of mine say, I'm sorry? And even some said there's not even a Yoruba word for sorry. So I think for some people, they're never going to get closure. And it's just for them to be able to set boundaries, like Sister Yinka said, and a lot of people said, and be able to navigate that relationship and then heal themselves and forgive that person, knowing the type of person that they are and being able to structure the relationship based on that. So I think it's about having boundaries, and another thing is about healing in yourself, knowing that you can't go back and that you can only go forward. So I think those are the key reflections for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honey Bay. On to you first.
Yes, today has been another interesting show. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. In closing, I'd just like to say that fathers do have a huge role to play in this. Please look out for your daughters and your wife. Reason is because a lot of the times the fathers enjoy that they are the apple of their daughter's eyes. but they forget that the mom is there. They say, "Oh, my daughter, she listens to me. She's my bestie," and all of that. But then the mother and the daughter, they have issues, but the father is rejoicing over his own, the child being the child's favorite. Please look into this. If your wife and your daughter look like they're not on the same page, they're always at it, even though your daughter is still under your roof right now, you need to start working on it before she becomes an adult. Reason is because you have a role to play in this. You can talk to your daughter as well as talk to your wife, because you're not in the mother-daughter relationship, so you can actually see from outside what is going on with them. I say this to say I play that role for my husband and my sons, right? So I look out for whatever is, if my son and my husband, if they're having some issues, I call my son to the side. I talk to him about daddy, about what daddy expects, why he's doing the things he's doing. And then I go to daddy too, to talk to him, soften up the bits. So it's like I'm looking out for both of them because I really want them to have a good relationship, especially because my son, my first son, is like a replica of his father. So if I had a daughter too, I would expect that my husband would look at it that way. My husband taught me how to apologize to children. I didn't know how to do that. I felt like when I first got married and with kids, I felt like whatever I say is what I say. But he let me realize, even though I have boys, that you need to be able to, when you acknowledge your mistakes, it helps the child and it helps you. So if you have a daughter and you have a wife and you see that things are not going well, it is your role as a father to play, to, try to help them with the relationship. Talk to your daughter and talk to your wife. You can see where the issues are and you can try to help them out. Even you can even plan dates for them, like go on, nail, spa days and all that kind of stuff, mommy and daughter time. It will help. It's easier for ladies to do with their daughters. For my sons, I would, with my son, whenever my husband is going to the grocery store, I'll say, take your son with you. If he's going to buy electronics, take him with you. That sparks up talk between them. But before you do start planning, have a talk with the both of them. It helps a great deal. You don't want them hanging out and they don't like each other. You don't want that because they'll come back fighting. So you need to start from there and it will get better. Thank you.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Auntie First. So I'm just going to share that our next session, our next episode, which will be episode 4, is from courtship to DMs, dating then versus now. So this is going to be more light-hearted, more fun. There's lots of funny videos, funny content about dating experiences. Yes, of course, dating is a very big part. A lot of people are left heartbroken. A lot of people, have had to go through divorce and all sorts due to just in some situations due to just like a poor start. However, I think it's going to be less heavy for this session. So it's going to be next week, Thursday, November 13th, and the same time, 3:30 p.m. EST and 8:30 p.m. BST. So that'll be next week, Thursday next week at the same time. And we're going to be talking about from courtship to DMs, dating then versus now. So please bring your funny dating stories and let's have some fun. So that's all we have for you tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for always supporting us. We really appreciate you. Thank you to all of our super chatters. We had Man of Prestige, Uncle Ola super chatters. Thank you so much, sir. We had our Zadi, Uncle Emeka super chatters as well. Thank you so much, sir. And we also had Sister Tonya super chatters. Thank you all so much for your support and for showing us love. We do not take you all for granted. So, as always, you guys know that we usually have the ad section now. So I guess everyone can say their goodbyes in the comments, and we will see you on the next show.